South Africa, welcome back. Yes, it is Wednesday, which means it's officially the Culinary Hotline bling. Ting, ting, ting.
That's got warmness in the table.
As Ryle said, we are in the kitchen this morning coming through with the most amazing breakfast inspiration that you can possibly find for Mother's Day. We've got Jared and we've got Ariel from the restaurants named Jared's and Ariel, brothers that have completely taken Cape Town by storm with their restaurant. And today we brought them into the kitchen to give us a masterclass on preparing breakfast. I mean, it is the most important meal of the day, isn't it?
No, we agree. Can't start the day without a good brekkie, you know? So we're going to try our best. We can't make any promises. The real chef's on here today, but...
he helped us prepare, so...
Yeah, he helped you prepare.
We can't stuff anything up this morning, we think.
Mostly emotionally, you know? We sat for a counselling session yesterday afternoon. He said, don't worry, you guys are going to be okay. And
you are going to be more than okay. So what are we going to be making first this morning?
Okay, I mean, you can take it away.
Well, last time Jared made this dish on air, he actually cut his finger, so I think I'm going to do the cutting today. But we're doing our most popular item on our menu. It outsells absolutely anything. We don't like to count it because it's almost unfair, but we're making a classic Eggs Benedict, and in this case, we're doing salmon.
Lovely. There will be no injuries in the kitchen this morning.
No.
Hopefully not, but you told me there was a medic close by, just in case.
They're on their way. They'll shoot be here by the end of the show. Just joking, we've got you. We've got you, the medics on site. So let's start off with, well, I'm not going to say what we start off with. You tell me what we're going to start off with.
So we're gonna break it up a little bit. We like to use a really classic loaf of brioche, which is just butter enriched bread. I mean, if there wasn't enough butter already in hollandaise. But yeah, so we're gonna start off just by slicing a nice thick cut of brioche, toasting it in the pan, and then we're gonna hand over to Jared, and he's gonna start making the hollandaise sauce. Really important to remember, we've got the water on a rolling boil already. We just added a little bit of vinegar, which we're gonna put in there now. And then we're going to get started.
Lovely. So you're going to start slicing bread.
Yeah.
Jared, I'm coming over to you.
A couple little side notes quickly. I mean, obviously we're using brioche for this recipe, but guys, you can use any bread. It's wonderful with sourdough, traditionally really nice with an English muffin as well. Just depends what you can get. We serve it at Jared's on thick-cut brioche French toast because, as Ariel said, you know, there's never enough butter.
Right.
So Ariel's going to butter that again and toast that in the pan.
Oh, yes, of course.
And then we are going to start doing the other components of the Eggs Benedict. Remember, with Eggs Benedict, guys, you can do a variety of different toppings. You know, it's not just smoked salmon. Even just eggs, bread, and hollandaise sauce is absolutely delicious. But at Jared's, you know, we do smoked salmon, we do bacon, we do spinach and mushroom, we do like a Reuben play with pastrami and sauerkraut. So there really is anything that you can do. And hollandaise is an amazing base sauce to add things to. So you can add some sriracha, some Tabasco, a whole bunch of other items to make it or change the flavor profile a little bit. But today we're just going to do the base sauce and go from there.
And I mean, I think that's a pretty important recipe to learn because once you learn that base, like you said, you can take it anywhere you want.
So many sauces come off it. You know, it's quite simple. It's the same principle as making mayonnaise. It's an emulsion. And that's all we're going to do. And it's a butter and egg yolk emulsion.
Right, okay. So Ariel's completely gone into restaurant mode. Have you seen it?
No, he's quiet.
Boom.
So as Ariel said, we've got water on a rolling boil here. You don't have to use vinegar, but it's just nice. I think it makes the eggs taste nice, and generally it helps you out a little bit. So I just give a big squeeze of vinegar in there. And then another tip for doing poached eggs is to use the freshest free-range eggs you can possibly find. It just makes your life much harder.
It sounds crazy, but
it really
once
does
they
make
get
a
past like 4 or 5 days of being hatched, they start to separate and they don't bind. So you get like those poached eggs which almost look like flat fried eggs.
They like dissipate in the water.
Yes.
They coagulate and they go really nice and round if they're super fresh. So
that's
when
a good tip at home. Yeah, good tip for our viewers at home. You're always going to want to use your freshest free-range eggs when you're making poached eggs. And can we actually prep poached eggs ahead of time? Is that okay?
Yes, we can. You definitely can. What you do is you just soft poach them. You put them on. You see I've got little stations set up here. You can either use a tea towel or some paper towel or something like that. You can go ahead and poach a whole bunch of them, get them set aside on a nice dry tray like this, and literally before you're ready to serve, you keep your water rolling and you just drop them back in for 1 minute and take them out.
Are you ready to drop some eggs? You want to drop it in?
I'm going to talk you guys through the hollandaise
Perfect, yes.
Instead of doing the whole classic, like cut up the butter, double boiler, we're going to do a really simple solution, and we're going to do it with an immersion blender. Most people have a stick blender at home. It's a really nice tool to make this type of sauce with, and or mayonnaise or any of those. What's important is to find a vessel that the bottom of the immersion blender fits quite tightly in, if that makes sense.
I get you.
Just so that it sort of controls the flow there a little bit. And then your ratio is 1 egg yolk to about 110 grams of butter. So, and that's generally a serving for one person. So if that gives you a sort of an idea of how much butter there is. I've gone ahead and melted down or clarified some butter. You don't necessarily need to do that. The most important thing to make sure is once you've done melting your butter, it's got to come back down to a reasonable temperature, because if the butter's too hot, right, this is obviously like at a room temperature now because it's clarified, and if it's clarified, it can stay at a room temperature.
Okay.
But the thing is
the
if your butter's
process
too
of
hot...
clarifying isn't as scary as some of the viewers may think.
Yeah, Ariel can maybe
You can literally, I'm going to put it down to simple terms. Some of the real chefs out there might kill me. But you can literally put butter on a very low simmer. And as the fat starts to make its way to the top of the pan, you can just literally spoon it out. So all that foamy mixture, you can spoon it out. It can take some time. It can take 15, 20 minutes or so. Once you've gotten the majority of that foam out, you don't have to have absolutely everything out. You've basically got clarified butter.
Lovely. So we've got like a few minutes left. While you're busy making the holidays, I'm going to ask Ariel, are you ready to plate up so we can have a little final version at the end?
Yes, we're going to start the plating process.
Let's go for hollandaise. Eggs, room temperature.
Eggs, room temperature. You would have your warm butter on the side. You don't have to use vinegar or lemon juice. I quite like a zingy, like lemony hollandaise. Otherwise, it's quite rich. It cuts through that fat quite nicely. So we're going to put a little bit of lemon juice, a little bit of vinegar, and I'm going to season it slightly. Never put salt in with your raw eggs. It breaks down the protein.
Did you know that? I did not.
Whenever you make scrambled eggs, if you do a big batch of eggs, don't put salt in it. Only season it when it's in the pan.
Wow, okay, lovely.
Yeah, so we're going to go from here.
It won't kill you, but it's
No, it won't kill you. So we're going to do a little bit of lemon juice. As I said, I like putting a little bit of vinegar as well. A little bit of black pepper. And then you literally put this guy in here like this, and we need to slowly drizzle this butter in. Pass a spoon there quickly, please.
Okay, so we're going to get slowly drizzling. South Africa, we are going to come back and you're going to see how beautiful this hollandaise looks, and when we finally plate up this delicious dish. So don't go anywhere. The Segal brothers are not going to be leaving the kitchen anytime soon. So please stay tuned for the Culinary Hotline. Bling!
Ting, ting, ting.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back, South Africa, to the Culinary Hotline. Bling! Ting, ting, ting! What's going on? I think, can we do it one more time with enthusiasm, please? The Culinary Hotline. Bling! Ting, ting, ting! It's one bad apple, but we'll sort them out during the ad break. It's okay. We're back into the kitchen, talking about everything breakfast. And actually, I want to know from you, what is your ultimate breakfast? Send us a voice note to 063-408-8863. In the meantime, we're doing the ultimate breakfast right now. Let's talk about what we did in the previous segment. So we spoke about poaching eggs. We were about to start our hollandaise. So this is for our salmon Benedict.
Salmon Benedict, we've got a couple of eggs on the go at the moment. I've just warmed that clarified butter slightly. You can feel it's sort of like lukewarm-ish.
Yes.
I'd probably say, if I was to guess, 30 to 40 degrees. And then all we're going to do is,
Sorry to interrupt you. We're just going to take these
poached eggs out. As I showed you previously, we've got 2 egg yolks in the bottom. We've got about 150 to 200 grams of butter here. We've got a little bit of lemon, a little bit of vinegar, some salt and pepper, or no salt, but some pepper. And then we're just going to slowly drizzle this down as we have the motor of this appliance running.
And slowly.
Slowly, preferably with a little jug like this.
And this is quite easy to do at home, like you said, because it's quite compact. You're using the electric mixer. I'm guessing in a restaurant, similar, but just bigger utensils?
Effectively, in bigger quantities, We've got a big version of this that is absolutely enormous.
Love. So while we're busy doing this, Ariel, if someone had to prepare you the ultimate breakfast, what would they be making you?
I'm a classic guy, hey? I'm a big English. Full English breakfast, hash browns, sausage, bacon, fried eggs, sourdough toast, and most of the viewers might kill me, but tomato sauce. I have to have tomato sauce with my eggs, otherwise it's just a no-go for me.
I'm just saying.
But yeah, you know, everyone thinks it's going to be something like over the top and fancy, but I think Jared probably shares the same sentiment with me. Just a classic full breakfast is what we love.
It's the way, absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay, so
I'm going to move over. I think we're going to move over to the plating segment.
let's go talk plating.
Right.
We're not forgetting about you, Jared. We're to talk plating.
Yeah, so the finished product of what Jared's emulsifying there looks a little bit like our hollandaise over here. So it does actually set. You can keep it in the fridge. You can put it over a little bit of warm water as well if you want to get it to room temperature. You can't get it too hot. Once it goes above 40 degrees, it will split. It will split.
Okay, cool.
So it is something that can be pre-prepared. It will go off after a couple days. You can re-season it, give it a little bit of lemon juice just to so it's not as rich. I think Jared can finish up with the blending over there so we can maybe start plating this dish.
Our brioche toast that we
So brioche toast, again, added butter just because everyone loves butter. 3 keys to French cooking, butter, butter, and butter. So yeah, we've got some beautiful local smoked salmon or trout here, which we just try layer nicely, just to try create a little bit of height on the plate. So you just fold your salmon over. You also try, when you do it, create like a little perch for yourself so that your poached eggs don't basically fall off. It's always good to have a little paper towel next to your poaching station just so that these eggs dry off and no excess water runs onto them.
Funny thing about me is when it comes to poached eggs, I cannot eat a hard-boiled, hard-poached egg. It has to have that runny yolk. That's the whole idea of the poached egg for me.
Guys, you can see I've drizzled in about half the butter now with a couple of egg yolks, and what we're left with is a nice, thick, creamy, emulsion. Beautiful hollandaise. There's a little bit of pepper in there. As I said, you can add a little bit of seasoning to taste. If you want it a little bit zingier, you can add a little bit more lemon. If you want a little bit more pepper, if you want to add some tarragon, if you want to add a bunch of herbs, you can do that. And that's sort of the consistency you'll come out with. We've got a similar style here, and you just lay it over your eggs nicely like that.
For me, a sign of a good hollandaise is the way it holds itself together, and it doesn't just run off your Benedict. It actually has got some viscosity to it. It looks rich. It looks delicious. That is absolutely perfect. Cape Town. This is Cape Town. South Africa,
Ariel's going to show you guys a really nice way to cut a lemon quickly.
Oh, really?
I don't think he's touched on that.
Well, not cut a whole lemon. Just if you want to serve and be a little bit fancy, rather than cutting a wedge, you cut what's called a lemon cheek. So you just take the edge of this off, and it works really nicely because you can just literally squeeze the side of it.
No seeds.
Right? No seeds, no mess. Also, you can put it on the side of the plate like that. Looks really beautiful. And we're going to top it off just with a little bit of fresh micro herbs, just literally over the top. Not too many. And there we have it.
Moms out there, would you be impressed with this?
Let's get an
Mother's
egg
Day
cut.
for breakfast.
Oh, should we get a little...
Oh, yes. Okay, wait. Let's get a close-up. We're going to get a close-up of this. So we're going to slice into the egg. We want to see that yolk running. Okay, are you ready?
Yeah, no
pressure. Are you ready?
Eh? No pressure.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Let's turn... That's it. That's what the dish is supposed to look like. If it doesn't run like that, it's not the one. That looks absolutely delicious.
Guys, we're going to start our second dish so long.
Why not? Why
We're
not?
start throwing some bacon in the pan
What's
here.
the next dish?
We're doing a breakfast bruschetta. This is a day one dish for Jared. A lot like the eggs Benedict.
I'm going to give a little inside secret here. It's actually not a day one dish just for Jared. Jared and I used to work together at a cafe in Australia. And this was the most popular dish on the menu. This was the dish that put them on the map. So it was a sort of paying ode to them. When we came back to South Africa, we sort of nicked that one off their menu. And it stayed just as popular here as it was there. Second to the eggs Benedict. I said I don't count Benedicts because they're like a standard, but this is the most popular item on Jared's menu. It's really simple, really classic mix of salty and sweet. Super easy to prepare. And yeah, so, you know, that's...
light, easy eating, really fresh, works well summer and winter. I mean, it's got a little bit of everything that you want, you know, a bit of bacon, avo, some tomatoes, a balsamic reduction. And we'll talk through balsamic reduction, but it's effectively balsamic vinegar and sugar, cooked slowly until you're left with quite a viscous, sweet, salty sauce. And it's absolutely delicious, works really nicely with this dish. You can also sub in a little bit of basil pesto if you're feeling a bit fancy, but we're going to keep it classic and traditional.
While Jared's cooking bacon, we're just going to prepare a chunky avo salsa. So you just...
I feel like a sports commentator hopping between the two players. But it's working, it's working. Okay, so avo also, I like that you keep it nice and chunky. I like avo being chunky.
Yeah, well, when you mix it in a bowl, if you cut it too small, by the time you finish mixing it, it ends up being like a mush, you know?
Got you.
So it's a nice way to basically to keep it having a little bit of texture without it all sort of falling apart there, you know? So yeah, in the bowl, basically, we're just doing a bit of avo, lovely bit of lemon juice. If you've pre-prepared your avos, just always cover them in lemon. It just stops them going brown. Alongside that, we're also going to do a little bit of chunky onion.
We're going to do a nice slice of sourdough toast for this, like you would usually do with like a bruschetta. You want something that gets nice and crispy, and effectively that's the style here.
And sour toast has a bit of like a body to it.
It
So
does.
it's not just going to fall apart as soon as you start slicing it or eating it.
Exactly.
Okay, so let's talk about this. Bacon's going. We're going to work on that salsa. When we come back a little later, we're going to finish this bruschetta, but then there's a third dish as well.
The third dish
What is
sweet,
that?
Sweet dish, and it's going to be like a play on French toast, like a churro-style French toast. So with like little, we've cut them already, but like little brioche batons.
Oh, yes.
That we're going to dunk in egg wash, we're going to cook in butter, and then we're going to dust in cinnamon sugar and do like a cookie crumb and some Belgian chocolate. So,
Okay. Very quickly, we've heard from your brother what his ideal breakfast is. Very quickly, what's yours?
No, mine would be something similar.
Something
Hey,
similar?
Full English, the classics. You know, I want
Say
a
something
plentiful,
different for the show,
I want a
Gareth.
plentiful plate.
Come on.
But to be honest with you, I'm also quite a simple eater, and I'd probably go for like a really nice breakfast sandwich or breakfast bagel. You know, bacon, eggs, some Swiss cheese, chili mayo, a little bit of spinach.
Yes.
On like a nice soft brioche bun. Classic bacon buddy vibes.
Nice,
you know?
I like it. South Africa,
Yeah.
if you want to let us know about your favorite dish, send us your WhatsApp, your voice notes to 063-408-8863. But don't get away, we'll be back with more Culinary Hotline Bling! Ding, ding, ding!
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back, South Africa, to the Culinary Hotline Bling!
Ting, ting, ting!
That was a nice loud on because they all know it's one step away from them all getting breakfast. Look at them smiling now. So we've made quite a spread this morning in the kitchen. We've seen our salmon benny. We're about to wrap up our bruschetta, and then we're making some churro-inspired French toast.
Correct.
Right, let's just go. Let's just go.
Yeah,
So
we're
while-
gonna go.
while-
I'm going to jump straight into it, finishing up the breakfast bruschetta. So we finished with a little sweet balsamic reduction, which we put on the plate. Just
It's not just for aesthetics. It actually adds flavor to the dish as well.
yeah, so it's sweet and salty, so it balances out the bacon really nice, and it also cuts through the richness of the avocado. So it does actually bring everything together. In here, I added a little bit of basil pesto as well into my salsa. It is optional, but we really like it. It rounds out the dish super nicely. So onto the plate goes your toast first, right? Then we're gonna add some of this chunky salsa straight onto that toast.
And this seems like an easy enough dish that you could make for mom on Mother's
Super
Day.
easy. You also don't have to do it with poached eggs. I mean, poached eggs are always super fancy, people think, but I've had it with fried eggs, I've had it with scrambled eggs.
A lot of people opt for scrambled eggs.
Yeah, a lot of
Easy
people.
to do for a lot of people as well. Big pan of scrambled eggs, big bowl of your salsa, toast, top your toast, bang, eggs on top of that, and you can serve 10 people
You
quite
can
quickly.
swap bacon for halloumi as well.
Oh,
You can
yes.
have
Yeah,
bacon,
that sounds
halloumi,
great.
or salmon again if you want to go down the salmon route.
And then, guys, I'm going to give you a quick rundown of what I've done here. I've got my thick cut brioche toast cut into like batons or fingers. I've got an egg wash here, which is simply whole eggs, milk, and some cinnamon. They sort of look like this before. You can put them in your egg mix and let them really soak up lots of this egg, right? You want them to sit in there for a while, get nice and moist, and then in a pan, preheated pan, I've got some butter, and then we're just going to cook them all sides, and then I'll show you guys how we assemble them together. But also really simple. Everyone can do this together, super kid-friendly, and really yum.
Kid-friendly, but the adults would absolutely love it. And South Africa, if you haven't noticed, the theme for the day, for the morning is butter. Lots
Yes.
and lots of butter. And I feel like butter is a quite breakfast-forward kind of ingredient. It just enhances flavors, adds richness. I wouldn't want to ask between the
Oh, it's
two
a
restaurants.
secret to French cooking, and yes, we do use a lot of butter.
I was
You know,
gonna say-
when you go to most restaurants, that's why you're like, wow, everything tastes amazing. Real cream, real butter, lots of eggs, like, you know.
Delicious. I'll be afraid to ask what between Ariel's and Jared's, how much butter you go through in a month, but I'm pretty sure it'd be a surprising number. Look at this. Okay, put this away. Here we go. Knife and fork. Let's go for our Benny. I love a good Benedict, and I feel like it's iconic. Breakfast and brunch, it has to be a Benedict. I'm gonna do a TV bite. with a bit of everything on it. Ah. Let's give it a taste. Oh,
How you going, good?
the hollandaise, tangy, rich, delicious, and creamy. But it doesn't become overpowered with the richness of the salmon. It's delicious, and that brioche.
Give it a little squeeze of lemon over there, man. Bit of
Yes.
black pepper.
This is absolutely amazing. Mothers, oh, here we go. Any mother would be absolutely impressed with this, and then Ariel would come to your house and sprinkle seasoning over for you.
There's a surcharge for that one, though.
It is magic. It is so good. Absolutely delicious. Oh, bruschetta, we'll get into that in a second. First of all, I think when you talk about appearance, that looks super grand. It looks absolutely amazing. We've seen how easy it is to put together, but you'd never say it was that easy looking at it. So I absolutely love this dish. I'm smelling cinnamon and I'm smelling butter.
Yeah,
That's
we're
looking
going
good.
Your mind's moving on to sweet things already. right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's often. We can't believe the amount of people that come for breakfast and go straight to pancakes. I mean, pancakes.
8 o'clock in the morning.
We did 2.5 tons of pancake batter in December.
2.5
Tons
tons.
of pancake batter. We had a team that just came in at night just to prep pancake batter.
Making pancakes 24 hours a day.
That's 2.5 city golfs
Yeah.
of just pancake batter.
40 liters of hollandaise sauce a day.
Wow.
So, you know, we don't get butter in 500 gram blocks. We get them in 25 kilo blocks.
I didn't even know you could get that. That's pretty amazing. So if you want to know what I want for Christmas this year, South Africa, it's a 25 kilogram block of butter. There we go.
So
That
guys, just cook it nice and evenly on all sides. You're starting to get like a little bit of a golden brown color from the egg wash and butter. Ari's going to sprinkle over a little bit of cinnamon sugar so long. That's going to caramelize quite nicely. We'll do a little bit of a dusting when we start plating it up.
smells so good.
Yeah, a little bit of cinnamon in the egg wash as well makes a big difference. And then what we're going to do is when these are ready and these look cooked to me, we're going to build like a little stack.
I like it. So, okay, while I'm busy chewing and can't talk, Ariel, let's ask you first. How would you describe the food at Ariel's? What kind of experience would guests come? Would they experience when they visit you?
So we call ourselves modern Italian, but a more accurate description would be New York Italian. So we draw a lot of inspiration from New York diners or New York eateries. So it's a twist on the classics. You know, New York Italian cuisine's been around so long that they've curated some of their own like dishes, like spaghetti and meatballs is traditionally a New York dish. Our pizza specifically is Neapolitan-style pizza, so it's a slow fermented product, focus on high-quality ingredients, not too many toppings, a little bit more chewy, a little bit more flavorful dough. So yeah, so modern Italian is what we call ourselves, but it really is just a twist on the classics.
Absolutely.
I'm
And
going to jump in there quickly just while I finish the assembly of this dish. We've got a little bit of melted Belgian chocolate here.
Oh, wow, yeah.
You don't have to get Belgian chocolate, guys. Any chocolate will do. Temper it down on the stove with a little bit of cream. Make sure it stays nice and warm so you can actually drizzle it. Ariel's got a bit of a cookie crumb there. Again, make our own biscuits, but you don't necessarily need to do that. Any biscuits will work here. You can do oat cookies, you can do choc chip, you can do shortbread. It doesn't really matter. It's for a little bit of texture and flavor. And then we're just going to slowly like drizzle this Belgian chocolate over the top of it.
I wish
everyone could hear that.
I wish you could hear that. There was this
And a
weird.
little drizzle around for presentation and a little bit more for good measure.
Everybody behind the camera
And
just
Ari's
wait.
going to show some cinnamon sugar.
That was amazing.
And you've got churros French toast.
That I'm tasting. Okay. While I'm tasting this, Jared, to you very quickly, same thing. What can guests expect when they visit Jared's?
So we sort of see ourselves as like the quintessential brunch cafe, all day easy dining. Come there, we serve our menu the entire day. So breakfast for lunch, lunch for breakfast. There's nothing better to me than coming at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, having a breakfast mimosa and an eggs Benedict.
Even breakfast for dinner.
Even
Breakfast for dinner.
Yeah. On our nighttime menu, Jared's, we've got a bacon Benedict just for a bit of a laugh. And yeah, classic, you know, cafe-style dining in a nice, relaxed atmosphere. Big, beautiful, open cafe right next door to Ariel and some of
Wall
our
to wall.
Yeah, wall to wall. With some of our other
Absolutely.
businesses as well.
Absolutely. I was trying to find my wife. I see she just walked in. I don't know where she's gone right now. It's fine. I'll do the bite for her. I was going to ask her to do the magic bite that we always do. So I'm going to look into camera, and I'm going to take the magic bite. And
Deeply
our
into the
DJ's going to
camera.
get ready for that. Are you ready for this? Megan, I don't know where you are right now, but this is for you. Oh my goodness. It gets better and better with every bite. It is so good. Oh, this is so delicious. Very quickly, like the wrap-up. Your favorite thing on Ariel's menu?
Italian sausage rigatoni.
Other way around?
You know, you already asked me my favorite breakfast.
On Jared's menu. So
that's
it's the
gonna be
full English.
full
South
English.
Africa, and especially in Cape Town. If you are in Cape Town, you're looking for an amazing spot for brunch or for dinner, go and check it out. It's Jared's and it's Ariel's. You will not be disappointed. Thank you so much for being in the kitchen this morning. This is not going to go to anyone else. It's for me and for my bae. Thank you. We absolutely appreciate having in the kitchen and learning all these masterful tips on making the best brunch and breakfast ever. You guys have been absolutely stunning. Can we give them a hand, please, South Africa?
Thank you, guys.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you. for
South
having us.
Africa, go to social media. Let us know what you want to see happening on the Culinary Hotline. Bling. Give me a short ting, ting, ting.
Ting, ting, ting.
There we go. Thank you so much for joining us. We'll be back next week.